All right. Gonna be a quick one. Um, in this new series of episodes, I'm gonna be talking about a couple of things I've been thinking about and reading. And on this one particularly, it's talking about suffering is a must. Uh, and it's basically drawn from thoughts I've been reading about, and some of the questions we as human beings always have is, do I have to really go through all the pain and all the suffering? Um, But more and more, it's almost as if God reveals through his word that suffering is a must. I mean, if you think about 2 Corinthians 4, 16, 17, 18, talks about we are hard pressed on in every side for this light and momentary trials. Have no comparison to the glory that awaits us. Therefore, we do not focus on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporal, and what is unseen is eternal. Um, I'd like to read just two quotes. This is Thoughts from the Mount of Blessing. Whew, it's gonna hurt a bit. The trials of life are God's workmen. Workmen here. The trials of life are God's workmen to remove the impurities and roughness from our characters. Their hewing, squaring, and chiseling, their burnishing and polishing is a painful process. It is hard to be pressed down to the grinding wheel, but the stone is brought forth prepared to fill its place in the heavenly temple. Upon no useless material does the master bestow such careful, thorough work. Only precious stones are polished after the similitude of a palace. Similitude of a palace. Um, yeah, I don't know where to go from this, but a lot of the times when we when I'm going through like a difficult time, I think one of the thoughts that's always on our minds is this means that I'm not valuable. I'm not good. That's why bad things are happening. Uh, it's because there's no bright future. That's why terrible things are happening. And the section actually to this, because I'm reading it out of a book called Messages to Young People, it's the value of trials. And it says that trials are God's workmen. Literally, if God's employed trials so that they can make us useful. And that last part upon that says, only his precious stones are polished after the similitude of a palace. It's interesting that God would say that we have so much value because of having to face trials. Or rather, that facing trials actually points to the fact that we do have so much more value than we imagine. And I don't know, man, that's painful. But somehow he is making us better through the trials. And no matter what we're going through, he is creating in us gold, just refined through the fire. Yeah. And so praise in the fire, praise in the trials. It's removing my impurities and your impurities and our roughness, and our characters are being made to depend on Him.